ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon, this is koolNews at 4. From the station that cares for you, I am Carlo. Let's get into the headlines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Wednesday signed into law the value-added tax on digital service, which will impose a 12% value-added tax on digital services provided by foreigners. The event was done in a ceremony in Malacanan. Subject taxpayers include providers of digital content such as movies, music, images, and information, electronic marketplace, online licensing of software, mobile applications, videos and games, online advertising spaces, search engine services, social networks, as well as webcasts and webinars, among others. The law entitled Republic Act No. 12023 is set to recover revenue loss due to unclear tax laws on e-commerce transactions, particularly from foreign companies that serve Filipino consumers but are not based in the Philippines. Based on the projection of the Department of Finance, the law is expected to generate between 80 billion pesos and 145 billion pesos from 2025 to 2028, depending on the compliance of subject taxpayers. It amends certain provisions of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 to adapt to the changes in the economy that are driven by technological events. Meanwhile, after the president signed a law imposing a 12% value-added tax on foreign digital services providers such as Netflix, Spotify, and Google, among others, it is now up to these companies to decide whether to raise their product prices or not, according to an official from the Bureau of Internal Revenue. On Wednesday, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed Republic Act No. 12023, also known as the VAT on Digital Service Law. In the press briefing after the signing ceremony, BIR Commissioner Romero Lumangui Jr. said that it would be the company's decision whether they would impose a price increase for the customers or not. As to whether magkaroon ng price increases, it doesn't necessarily follow. It's a business decision by the providers, he said when asked if the public may expect a surge in the monthly subscription fee to these online prices. Pwede magkaroon ng price increase, but again, I think it would be minimum. Hindi naman yan 12% automatically, Lumangui added. There could be a price increase, but it would be minimal. It won't automatically be 12%. The commissioner further stressed that the DSPs can increase their pricing at their discretion. Moreover, Lumangui said that the law is not seen to discourage DSPs from doing business in the country. We are confident that this will not discourage them from coming here in the Philippines, he said. Companies that would not comply with the VAT imposition may face penalties and be blocked from providing their services in the Philippines. Lumangui said that the government is expected to generate 105 billion pesos in the next 5 years from the law. 5% of the revenues generated by this law will be allocated to local creative industries, while the rest will be dispersed to various sectors, he added. Senate President Cheese Escudero assured the public on Wednesday that he will not block the passage of a law that would prohibit political dynasties in the country. Because I am a product of that, I won't block it. If my vote is needed to pass that, I will vote for it because it goes against my interest. Escudero said at a press briefing in the Senate when asked about the chances of passing an anti-political dynasty law in Congress. To get involved in the drafting of that would clearly be a case of conflict of interest, so I shouldn't intervene unless my vote is needed to pass it. In which case, that would be a vote against interest which is allowed by our laws and the Constitution, he further said. The issue of whether there was a need to pass the law cropped up anew amid the observation that many among those filing the certificate of candidacy for the 2025 midterm elections belong to political class. The 1987 Constitution already bans political dynasties, but a law is still needed to enforce this prohibition. Escudero, however, noted that there has been a long debate on the definition of political dynasties, as well as the rules needed to implement the law. Their assumption is that all families are part of the large syndicate, which probably isn't the case, he said. We see many relatives competing each other in this election and in past elections, often fighting among themselves. So what happens if there's a troublemaker? Who will decide then? He asked. We assume that they should be able to talk as a family, but that's not the case. They're actually fighting. So who will decide? Comelec? The courts? Which institution or agency will make that decision? These are just among the many questions that he said still need answers from those pushing for the anti-political dynasty law. Senator Rafi Tufo said that he will no longer support the Department of Information and Communications Technology, citing the agency's alleged ignorant arrogance for skipping the upper chamber's earlier probe into the reported irregularities surrounding the Lotto games, among other things. Tufo disclosed that he has a long list of DICT's purported mistakes the public should know about and that he intends to reveal them during the Senate Subcommittee on Finance Wednesday hearing on the agency's proposed 2025 budget. This time, I will not be your supporter. I will unveil your many mistakes and I will dig them today. I have a long list of things that the people should know and that you should know to correct your problems, the senator said. Among the issues he raised was the ICT's absence during the Games and Amusement Committee hearing earlier this year. The agency was asked to present the results of its investigation of the case of whether the Lotto games are still credible. To recall, Tufo flagged the potential irregularities surrounding a Lotto bettor who reportedly won more than 600 million pesos on a 649 Lotto draw via system play in March this year. No one showed up. There is one who attended the hearing, but he is not needed in the investigation. Why? Are you arrogant now? What's so special about you, the ICT? If you are one of the top performing government agencies, pwede kayo malaki at hindi magpakita at snap, but you are one of the poor performers, Tufo stressed. So today, you will hear from me things that you wouldn't expect to hear from me back in 2022, he added. Earlier during the hearing, Tufo revealed that he was a strong supporter of the DICT. Because I see the need for this country to have a strong anti-cybercrime group that will protect our cyberspace. I saw the importance of the ICT. In fact, I even fought for the budget to be increased, but it was unfortunate it didn't go through. So now, I am really very disappointed with the ICT, he said. Dismissed Bamba Mayor Alice Guo, or real name Guo Huaping, has been granted permission by the Pasig Regional Trial Court to undergo medical checkup, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology announced on Wednesday. We received a court order allowing her to have a checkup, BJMP spokesperson J. Rex Joseph Bustinera said in the press briefing. This was an initiative of the BJMP, not requested by her. It was suggested during the last hearing by our senators who conveyed that it would be better if she undergoes a checkup, he added. Bustinera said they are still coordinating with the hospital regarding the checkup schedule, adding that it will depend on whether Google still wants to proceed with it or not. So far, healthy naman sila and no other concerns have been noted, he said. And 10 Vietnamese fishers were violently robbed in the disputed South China Sea, state media reported Wednesday, with an official saying the attackers came from Chinese-flagged vessels. The men were reportedly beaten with iron bars and robbed of thousands of dollars worth of fish and equipment on Sunday off the Paracel Islands, an archipelago in the resource-rich waterway claimed by China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Brunei. Vietnamese media did not identify the nationalities of the attackers, but Pi Hong Ba Vuong, An official in central Quang province told AFP they were Chinese. The boats had Chinese flags. 4 of the 10 men Vietnamese crew were rushed to hospital on Monday after arriving at Quang port, according to state-run Time Pehong newspaper, which said the men were attacked by around 40 people for 3 hours. Wearing checkered clothes, they cruelly beat us with iron bars, Captain Nu Bien Tang Bien was quoted as saying, adding that he felt unconscious for around an hour after the attack. Footage on Tien Hong's website showed the fishes being taken from their boat on stretchers. One had a broken leg and 2 suffered broken arms, the report said. Captain Bien told authorities that around $20,000 worth of equipment and fish had been stolen in the attack. Party official Luong, who chairs the People's Committee of Bin Chao, the commune where the fishermen live, said on Facebook he strongly opposed the barbarous acts by China. Neither the Ministry of Affairs in Vietnam nor China immediately replied to a request for comment from AFP. It is now 4:11 in the afternoon and Cool News at 4 will be right back.
Ohio!
It's 4:19 in the afternoon and welcome back to koolNews at 4. The Philippines, through Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla, alerted Timor-Leste of the possible relocation of offshore gaming operations to the country, warning them about the socio-economic and security challenges the Philippines face due to these operations. According to the Department of Justice in a statement on Wednesday, Remulla issued the warning during his state visit to Timor-Leste last October 1. The DOJ said that during the meeting, Remulla relayed reports indicating Timor-Leste as one of the possible transfer destinations of Philippine offshore gaming operations. Given the shared Catholic heritage and values of both the Philippines and Timor-Leste, the Philippine government deemed it essential to inform Timor-Leste of the potential socio-economic and security challenges posed by allowing POGOs to operate within its borders, the DOJ said. During the meeting, Remulla mentioned the country's challenges with crime, regulatory evasion, and potential threats to public safety posed by offshore gaming operations in the Philippines. The visit served as an important channel to encourage Timor-Leste to critically examine the broader implications of welcoming POGOs and how these activities might affect its domestic affairs, the DOJ said. And now for the crime headlines, the Philippine National Police in Calabarzon region arrested 727 suspected drug traffickers and seized more than 12.5 million pesos worth of illegal drugs in September. The Police Regional Office 4A reported on Tuesday, October 1, that drug enforcers arrested the suspects during 533 anti-illegal drug operations across the region in September. The operatives seized 1,834.40 grams of shabu and 275.13 grams of marijuana, valued at 12,506,935 pesos, according to the PIO report. The police also reported the arrest of 1,576 alleged illegal gamblers, most of whom were bookies or those involved in the illegal operation of the government's small town lottery. The authorities confiscated a total of 453,603 pesos in bed money. The law enforcers also arrested at least 97 people for carrying illegal guns and confiscated around 117 assorted firearms. The regional police also reported the arrest of 932 wanted felons across the region in September. And speaking of Calabarzon, illegal drugs worth more than 90 million pesos were seized in Sorsogon province during their month-long anti-narcotics operations in September, the Sorsogon police reported. Colonel Roque Busa, officer in charge of the Sorsogon police, said in a report on Tuesday, October 1, that they had arrested 30 drug offenders in 8 operations in September. This led to the confiscation of 18,515.5873 grams of shabu and 855.966 grams of marijuana, all valued at 92,708.710 pesos. The Sorsogon police reported the arrest of 54 most wanted persons and 13 other wanted persons after conducting 67 operations in September. Additionally, 36 persons were arrested for illegal fishing, while 3 were apprehended for illegal logging. The police arrested 30 persons involved in illegal gambling from 10 operations. 3 illegal gun holders were also detained, with 4 guns confiscated from 3 operations, totaling 9 apprehensions for loose firearms violations. In August, the Sorsogon police seized illegal drugs worth 355,914 pesos from its month-long operations. And Senator Grace Poe has filed a bill seeking to grant a franchise to Starlink Internet Service Philippines Incorporated to provide internet access to remote areas. The franchise will be on top of Starlink's accreditation as a satellite systems provider and operator by the Department of Information and Communications Technology and be registered as a value-added service provider by the National Telecommunications Commission. According to Poe, the legislative franchise would further improve Starlink's services by allowing it to construct and operate gateway Earth stations. Starlink is seen to bridge the digital gap by providing satellite-based internet connectivity in areas not covered by traditional terrestrial networks and in remote areas where it is difficult to build telecommunications infrastructure, Poe said in filing Senate Bill number 82844. The use of satellite technology is particularly well suited in an archipelago like the Philippines, where large portions of the population live in rural areas and isolated islands. She added. Under the bill, Starlink will be authorized to connect or demand connection of its telecommunication systems to other telecommunication systems operated in the Philippines. It seeks to mandate Starlink to improve and extend its services in unserved and underserved areas, geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, and in hazard and typhoon areas as determined by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. The harsh reality of internet service in the country is reflected in the most recent national census, which found that only 56.1% of Filipino households can access the internet at home, while 42.1% can access it via mobile broadband networks. Post said. Poor internet access limits the opportunities available to Filipinos, particularly for low-income households. The entry of a new player brings bright prospects in our telecommunications industry, she added. And now for the international headlines. Do we really feel that that crisis has already started in Venezuela? Well, according to the headline itself, its festive mood is nowhere to be found. It doesn't feel like Christmas in Venezuela, at least not yet, even if the president wants it to be. Residents of Caracas, the capital, woke up Tuesday to a towering Christmas tree standing in a popular public square weeks after President Nicolas Maduro declared the jolly season would start earlier this year in the South American country. Workers rushed to set up decorations in various neighborhoods, but the mood was far from festive. Desiree Aguilar said, "I think it's terrible because it's October." That's what she said, who is 32, before setting up her jewelry and accessories booth in a local market. Halloween hasn't even passed, and it's already Christmas? Are we celebrating them together? Venezuelans, particularly those who remember life at the turn of the century, have long associated Christmas with careless shopping and bulging wallets thanks to profit sharing and holiday bonuses employers paid at the end of the year. Employees often receive 3 times their monthly salary all at once. The smell of a fresh paint even signaled the arrival of Christmas because so many put a new coat on their walls. These days, however, merger wages and bonuses resulting from the country's economic collapse have turned the season into a time of have and have-nots. And this year, the season arrived amid a collective pessimism that followed the July 28 election. If they start paying the Christmas bonus in advance, we won't have anything left in December, Ablar lamented. I think it's a really bad idea. It remains unclear whether public private employers will make changes to bonus payments this year. Maduro, whose electoral authorities handed a third 6-year term, surprised the country on September 2 that when he declared on state television that the Christmas season will start earlier than ever. A devastating fire on a Thai school bus killed at least 23 people, police said Tuesday, after rescuers pulled children's bodies from the charred wreckage of the vehicle. The inferno engulfed their coach on a highway in the northern Bangkok suburb as it carried 38 children, ranging from kindergarten age to young teenagers, and 6 teachers on a school trip. It is believed to be the deadliest road accident in the decade in Thailand, which has one of the world's worst traffic safety records with around 20,000 fatalities a year. We found 23 bodies inside the bus, Tyrong Pibang, head of the police forensic science office, told reporters. The victims' bodies were so badly burned that Tyrong said it was not yet possible to confirm how many were adults and how many children. DNA testing will be needed to identify the remains, police said. Rescue workers put up screens around the wreckage to shield firefighters and investigators as they recovered bodies from the blackened shell of the bus. Some of the bodies rescued were very, very small. They must have been very young in age. Bilayak Tengku, who led the search, to reporters at the scene, adding that the fire started at the front of the bus. The kid's instincts was to escape to the back, so the bodies were there, he said. Police are hunting the coach driver of the fled the scene. Acting National Police Chief Kit Pangpepto reporters. The driver is on the run. We will not wait for him to turn himself in. We will send a team to find him, Ketrat said. Some of the children who survived suffered horrific burns to the face, mouths, and eyes. Doctors treating them told local media. The disaster is believed to have begun when one of the bus trucks burst on the highway around 12:30 p.m., sending it crashing into a barrier and triggering the inferno, officials said. And finally, in entertainment news, 4 months after signing with the Black label, Blackpink's Rose announced she will release her first full-length album, Rosie, on December 6, saying she poured her blood and tears into the record. Rose made the announcement on her Instagram page on Tuesday, October 1, while recalling the time she felt confused and lost in navigating the next chapter of her career. Where to begin? I cannot believe I am finally announcing my first album release to you all. I remember last year, as our year-long tour ended, I found myself in a session out here in Los Angeles, she said. That led on to a year of walking in and out of the studio, writing songs with songwriters and producers I would met for the first time, trying to figure out the next chapter in my career. I fell asleep many nights, feeling confused and lost. This is the album art you can see on your screen. And the singer hinted that the album is reminiscent of her journal, while sharing that the record's name is based on what her family and friends called her behind the scenes. I have poured my blood and tears into this album. I cannot wait for you to listen to this little journal of mine. Rosie is the name I allow my friends and family to call me. With this album, I hope you all feel that much closer to me, and yes, it's a full-length album, December 6. Hashtag Rosie, she wrote. In support of Rose, her bandmate Jisoo posted a rose emoji in the comments. The upcoming album will have 12 tracks, although the singer has yet to reveal this track list as a press list. And that is it for Cool News at 4. As always, if you have any news suggestions from us, you can get in touch at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I'm Cairo, and this is Hope. From the station that cares for you, we will see you later for more news headlines with Cool News at 6. Good afternoon.